It's me. Still the same guy, just no beard this time. It's been 2.5 weeks since I've been back from my meditation retreat, and I've definitely been meaning to make a video to share the experience. I've had people following up, asking about the experience, and definitely would have liked to make the video the week I came back, but life gets in the way. But here we are. Thank you for joining. My name's Nav. You're watching me on Nirvana with Nav. And in mid-September, I had left for my third Vipassana. Vipassana is a form of meditation. It's a meditation technique, a technique that has been passed down from teacher to pupil since the time of the Buddha. And this time around, I went to serve. I'll just explain a little bit about the whole center, the retreat aspect, the practice. There's two halves to a retreat. There are people that go to sit, and there are people that go to serve. My first 2 times that I went for my retreat, it was to sit. For the 10 days that I was there, I was actively there to meditate. Meditating between 8 to 10 hours a day, taking on that vow of noble silence, to not speak, no reading, no writing, no listening to music, no exercising. Focusing very much on the discipline of the meditation, on strengthening the mastery of the mind, of developing our sense of inner wisdom. But then there's the opposite side, serving. These centers, they're run basically by volunteers. From the assistant teachers that are there that take no salary, to the administrative staff that's there, and to the servers, like myself. For the 10 days that I was there, I took on the role of a kitchen manager, working with a group of 11 or 12 other volunteers, other individuals that had done a Vipassana retreat before. Makeshift group of people I'd never met before. And it was a really unique group. I had people from Iran. I had individuals spanning all across different age groups. I even had a member who was blind. And this makeshift group that we had, our job was to provide the meals, breakfast, lunch, and an afternoon snack on a daily basis in a timely manner. 6:30 a.m. breakfast, 11 a.m. lunch, and a 5 p.m. afternoon snack. So what that meant for me is just about every single morning, I had to be in the kitchen at 5:30 a.m. getting ready for breakfast. And then I'd be back in the kitchen a couple of times throughout the day to prep for lunch, to prep for the following day's itinerary, to clean up. And although we spent a lot of time in the kitchen, most days it was between 5:30 a.m. till about 6 p.m. that we would be in the kitchen. And in between that period of working from 5:30 a.m. to 6 p.m., we were also asked to meditate. I do jokingly say that we were meditating on the low end of the scale, which for us was between 3 to 4 hours, but that was low. And I think this experience for me really empowered my ability to maintain a meditation practice moving forward. If you've ever worked in the kitchen, which I had never done, it is quite a chaotic environment, especially given that we were on these tight timelines. We'd be meditating 3 hours a day, from 8 to 9 a.m., from 2:30 to 3:30 p.m., and then from 6 to 7 p.m. So after we finished our morning meditation at 9 a.m., my group of servers, we would all make our way back to the kitchen, and we would get right to work. We'd get right to work on preparing our lunch menu, preparing the following day's menu. And there was a mix of roles. We had a couple of the servers working as chefs. They were designated as for cooking the meals. We had about 4 individuals that were responsible for the dish pit. We had 2 individuals designated to manage the dining hall, to make sure that it was stocked with plates, cutlery, cups, that all the items that would be served would be out there in the dining hall ready to go. So everybody had a role to play. And so from 9 a.m. till 11 a.m., we would be on go, go, go. Cutting vegetables, defrosting that, slicing this, dicing that. Got really good at cutting onions. A lot of tears involved. And so when it came to working in that kitchen environment, we were permitted to speak. We were permitted to speak within reason. Given that it was a makeshift group of volunteers that had never worked together, it made sense. Asking for advice, just bonding a little bit more. But then outside of that environment, we also had to maintain our sense of noble silence. So yes, I got to speak a little bit more than I would have anticipated. But I think one of the coolest realizations I had, and I think this is something that each individual has to take a look at within their own life. It's the power of excuses. And the excuses can vary. I'm too tired. I'm too busy. I'm more or less speaking in the context of a meditation practice. I'm too tired to meditate. I'm too busy to meditate. When I sit to meditate, my mind doesn't stop moving. And it's these excuses that we continue to feed power towards. And it doesn't matter what the reason is, no matter how good of a reason you think it is. An excuse is an excuse. And for me, I was able to dissolve the power of these excuses by experiencing firsthand the ability to just let go. I guess that's as simple as I can say, to just let go and to accept. It did definitely take a few days for that to happen, though. When I first arrived at the center and the first couple of days that we were meditating, personally speaking, whether it was the case or not, my meditations felt awful. Couldn't focus, felt very drowsy, very dull. I felt like I was just wasting my time sitting. And a part of me had this hope, I guess, that I was clinging to, that my meditation practice at the center during this retreat this time would pick up where I left off last year when I was there for the retreat. And so from day 1, day 2, when I felt that wasn't the case, this inner conflict started to surface. And eventually I had to talk to our assistant teacher about it. I'm going through this particular problem, and what can I do? And I was still, I was still getting enough rest. I was still getting enough sleep. So it wasn't anything to do with what was happening, outside of the context of working in the kitchen or anything like that. But it was this like clinging to, very soft cling of, when you start to do well and progress in something, you sometimes forget, doesn't matter how long you've been practicing, that this will happen. You will go downwards. There will be a dip, a plateau hits, a bad day comes, whatever that is. And for me, I was going through a bit of that turbulence because I was adjusting to something different. And sometimes it just takes what it is that you're trying to work through to be told to you from a different person. So the assistant teacher made it very clear. As much as you would like to have the depth of your meditation practice be what it was when you were actively sitting, the reality is that's not the case this time. You're the kitchen manager. You have all these other people to look after. You have all these responsibilities. So are you still in charge? Are you still being mindful of those responsibilities? Yes, I am. Okay, good. So then just accept that your meditation practice is going to be a bit different. Just accept. And I kid you not, the moment I heard that, and I got that little bit more power to accept that truth, things became better. Things became easier. There was less resistance within me. It's not to say that each and every meditation after that moment of acceptance was smooth sailing. But my ability to accept directly correlated to the quality of my meditation experience. So even if you're busy, even if you're tired, even if you can't sit still, you should still do the thing that you're putting off trying to do. And I think that's a very hard pill to swallow for some of us. When I came back, I came back right into the busyness of my life. But the difference is this time I can feel it. I can feel the benefit of maintaining a practice. Because the benefit for me was experienced firsthand of balancing the life of working in the kitchen with creating that buffer, that space of stillness and silence while meditating. And I could feel how my meditation practice supported my role as a kitchen manager. So now when I've come back into my daily life as a yoga teacher, as a wrestling coach, as just a member of society that mixes and mingles with all sorts of different people, I can feel the benefit that I can bring forth into myself, that I can bring outwards into my relationship with other people by maintaining this meditation practice. So what that means for me is I'm trying my best, and there's still ups and downs. I have to find that sweet spot. Since coming back 2.5 weeks ago, I'm meditating about an hour and a half a day. Some days 2 hours, some days an hour. 1 or 2 days it's been a bit less than that. But give or take an hour and a half. In my perfect world, I would be able to wake up a bit earlier than what I currently do. And the way that the structure was requested of me, meditate 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening. But just given the nature of my schedule and how I work and how I do things, that 1 hour window isn't always easily found. So some days I'll do 45 minutes in the morning, 45 minutes in the afternoon, and maybe 30 minutes before bed. Or find 4 blocks of 30 minutes throughout the day. Now, I'm not asking you to meditate for 2 hours. Good luck if you choose to do so. But what you can take away from this is, how can I phrase it? Here's one way that I've been kind of working through this. I encounter a lot of people that prioritize their physical health. They have their busy lives, their stressful lives, this, that, and the other, but they make time for their physical health. Whether that means they wake up a bit earlier to go to the gym before work, or whether that means before they go home from work, they go to the gym, or whatever that time is for them where they are willing to prioritize their physical health. And if that means not even going to the gym, but say 10,000 steps, or whatever that is for them, they put in their honest effort and they do it. And maybe it's because they see the difference of going to the gym, they feel the difference, and that's great. The body benefits from movement and exercise. But then these are also the same people that sometimes tell me that they don't have the time, they're too tired, they can't sit still with their thoughts. And it's the same thing that I hear when people don't go to a yoga practice and they tell me they're not flexible enough. Okay, great. That's even more reason that you should try. If you can't touch your toes, that's only scratching the surface of what a yoga practice is to do for you. But that little bit of resistance is given so much power to, because they just keep feeding this excuse over and over and over again. And then the person who's averse to meditating, being too busy, too tired, not being able to sit still, these are all the reasons why you should meditate. That you should give yourself a moment of your day to create a space of stillness and silence. Most people, from the time they wake up to the time they go to sleep, they offer themselves no opportunity to pause. And meditation is a practice that offers you that opportunity. Right here, right now, using nothing more than the breath. You don't need to pay someone for it. You don't need to go out and buy something. The breath is always with you. It's always changing and it reveals so much to you. But too many people are scared. I often talk about this survey that was done, and maybe some of the stats are wrong, but they surveyed 1,000 people. I think this was somewhere in the UK. Would you rather sit quietly in a room by yourself for 15 minutes or receive an electric shock? And apparently more than 2/3 of the people said, give me the shock so I can be over and done with it. And to me, that's an alarming number of people that are too scared, too resistant, too whatever, to just be with themselves. We all have skeletons in our closet, but some of us haven't even bothered to open the closet. We just crack it open, throw some more baggage in, and then shove it tight. So before you even try to clean, you got to look at what's in that closet. And what that survey reveals to me is that a lot of us have that baggage, those skeletons, but we do not want to do the work to clean it. It's interesting. I think what this experience for me also did was it really showed me the potential that can be created when a group of individuals practices together, practices meditation in this case. A group of individuals that practice meditation, and we're all practicing separately, but we're all practicing in that same space. There is this shared energy. And people that practice yoga together, they sometimes feel it. but we're all trying to cultivate the same inner qualities of being individuals that are happy, healthy, peaceful, individuals that can work in harmony, live in harmony, individuals that, can be free of their feelings of anger, hatred, ill will. Because these things are going to happen. For me in the kitchen environment, conflict sometimes arose. I had to watch it as the kitchen manager. I had to try my best to mediate it. Somebody's not picking up their part of the workload, or things are starting to get a bit chaotic and out of balance. And typically we respond to fire with fire. We fight fire with fire. Instead of forgetting that fire is actually put out by water. So having a more gentle approach, a softer approach when it comes to dealing with conflict. I feel like that was kind of a tangent, but how can we extrapolate something like that into our daily lives? No doubt. We have families, we have friends, we have loved ones, we have strangers that we encounter day in and day out. And I'm not asking you to change them, nor should you try to change them. But if you can change your inner perspective on how you approach your relationships with these other people, that may be enough of a catalyst for them to change as well. I encourage you all to try a meditation practice. There are a couple on my channel. You don't have to meditate for 2 hours like I do. Start with 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Meditate with the strong intention of valuing that time for you. No distractions, no disturbances, just strengthening your inner sense of peace. And then try. The hardest part is then maintaining that peace. For some of us, the moment we finish our spiritual practice, meditation, yoga, whatever it is, we go right back into the wheel of misery. You want to hop on your phone, you want to go on your social media, you want to check this, that, and the other. It's just going to end up hurting you, taking away what you could have built up. Wind down properly. Give yourself that buffer zone, whether it's in the morning or in the evening. Try your best not to pollute your mind. And then that is a hard thing to ask, and we will all pollute our minds. So use meditation as that tool to clean your mind. There's probably a few things I could have talked about as well. But I want the main takeaway of my experience to be that doesn't matter how good you think your excuse is, at the end of the day, it's an excuse. And what hurts us is that we don't prioritize these things that are good for us. We don't understand them, we're a bit averse to them, resistant towards them. They intimidate us, they make us anxious, whatever it is. But ultimately, these are things that are meant to help us. So if you have a question about meditation, ask it. By the end of this year, I'll be hosting a couple of more meditation retreats. On my social media page, my Instagram page, I do commonly get asked questions. So if you ever have a question, please ask. Yeah, let's end it at that for now. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live peacefully and harmoniously. May you be liberated from your pain and suffering. Thank you for listening to me ramble. It might take you a few weeks to get used to me without my beard. It'll come back. Until next time, be happy. Stay safe. See you again soon.